waffling whether I should come up and speak. Everything has been mentioned over and over because that's the impact and the effect that Richard had on anybody who was in his life, even if it was just for a moment. What I remember most are the memories. Richard created memories in my life that are priceless, that I don't remember solely because of this day, but throughout my entire life. Many of them profound, many of them funny, most of them traumatic. As was mentioned earlier, the Yankee games, I don't think there was too many that we weren't in an accident on the turnpike on the way there and pulled over on the Major Deegan waiting for a tow truck or a flat tire to be changed at 7 years old for myself and Margaret and Caroline a few years above. One of the most inappropriate ones, but one of my favorite memories ever, is being taken at midnight, probably 1978, to Belmar, to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, with his girl du jour, and remember being pelted endlessly with rice and water and vulgarity and having a great time. Wouldn't have had it any other way, and it led to a memory just over a year ago, when everybody was sure that we were in his final days. Sitting at Debbie and Richard's house in the driveway after one of many phenomenal meals, set up in the driveway with a giant screen, the grandchildren, Margaret, Caroline, Michael, Stephanie, Debbie, watching Rocky Horror Picture Show, Richard's favorite movie, and to this day, one of my 50 top 10 favorite. But Richard created memories for us, and it was mentioned in Michael's eulogy about his being apologetic for not being there physically in our lives. I don't remember it that way, even almost. These are just two of hundreds of memories that Richard created for me and my family. And there's not a day go by previous to him being diagnosed that I don't think about those things, and it brings a smile to my face. It was also mentioned about his lack of expressive emotions. That definitely runs in the family, but he did express it very well physically. We can take bathing, for example, when we were children. I think I speak for Margaret and Caroline. There wasn't one bath that went by that we weren't dreading the time when it was time for the shampoo to be rinsed out of our head, our heads being shoved under the faucet, hands on the throat, water gushing in our mouths, up our nose, in our eyes, and just thought of this morning, but I think Richard could be credited for inventing waterboarding. I mean, and that's just the way it was. I don't know how many stories I have to hear of myself, because at the time I was probably 6 months old, of my shoulder being dislocated because I'd be swinging around in his arms and just as fast as he could, and something would come out of place. But that was Richard's way of showing affection, as well as pinning us down on the floor, knees on our arms, and typing as hard as he could with his massive hands on our chest. It was both terrifying and joyful at the same time. His massages, and if he come up behind you and grab your neck, you better hold on. But that's how he showed his affection, and I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. The ethicalness was mentioned almost by everybody. One of the most ethical and moral mans I've ever known, and that is an unbiased opinion. And unfortunately, that ethicalness had to be used on me a lot, much to my dismay. But like it was mentioned, Richard stood by who he was, no matter who, son, daughter, wife, whatever it was, he was who he was, and he lived by that. And that's something to aspire to. He gave me every tool I could ever need to get through this life. I didn't often use those tools, but in his passing and in the last couple of years, it's something that I'm going to work hard at every day. And I could only dream or hope to be a fraction of the man he was, because a fraction of him is more than a whole of many people I know. Thank you.
One second,